children. Property is located at 0 Drake Woods Road in Danielsville on map 22, parcel 11-01 in District 2.
Good evening.
How you doing?
What do you want to tell us?
We want to try to split that land up, like you were saying, from agricultural to agricultural residential. And we're trying to move out there from Winder, out here to Madison County.
And we have a 21-year-old son that's going to move before we move because our daughter's still in high school. So he's going to get the land first and his place first.
All right. Is there anything else you want us to know?
Not really.
That's our only plan.
Okay.
Oh, down there, go down.
The site plan? This is the site.
No, go down. No,
Okay, then,
Are you talking about the screen?
go up.
Okay, that was the plat.
Yeah.
is there any questions from the board for the applicant? Anyone have any questions? Hearing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition? Please come forward. State your name and tell us what you want us to know.
All right. I'm Dale Barong, 633 Drake Woods Road. My property borders this land on two sides. And first of all, I was involved in the breaking up of this property, the original parcel that they purchased. They purchased the property December 13th of 22, so less than a year ago. And it was originally 160-something acres. And I got with the owner, and he was wanting to sell, and we divided it up. I purchased 109 acres behind it, and the remaining three parcels were set up at 17 acres so that more than one house could not be placed on it, and kept it as A2. I'll also bring to your attention that they purchased the property December of last year, and right after the first of the year, it was listed with the real estate agent for sale. They marked the property up 25% and listed it with an agent. My understanding that contract expired, and then they listed it with the second agent. I contacted the agent to find out some information about it, and he said that really what they were wanting, they couldn't rezone it so that they could split it up and sell it. So they were waiting for the moratorium to be over so that they could then split it up and sell parcels. So that's really what I know about this. I want to bring to your attention the others that were a part of it. I guess to the left, there are two parcels there that are 17 acres. Those were a part of the larger portion or parcel, and at least the one on the far left up there is still owned by the original owner. It has not been sold. A group of investors, as well as the property adjacent to it along Drake Woods Road. If it is allowed to be rezoned so that they can break those lots up into 4-acre lots and sell it, there will be 20 home lots put between there and Johnstown Road. Those, it's really land speculation. The original owners hadn't tried to do that. But like I say, the floodgates, I believe, would open up if if you allowed that, and there'd be 20 homes. I know I own 3 parcels, and I was checking some of the rules and regulations about doing it, that you can divvy up a parcel into 4 pieces every 3 years. So that means if I did that with my 3 parcels, I could come out with 40, within 3 years, I could come out to 48 parcels that I could sell much higher price per acre, you know, if I were speculating the land that way. Breaking it up into 4 or 5 acre lots, you get an awful lot more for it than for 20 acres and so forth. And I'm saying that that's the motivation here. Let's see, that's pretty much.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Please come forward, state your name and your reason for.
My name is Victor Boucher, and I live on 4506 Hudson River Church Road. Mr. Barone already brought various arguments forward to oppose this rezoning. As far as I remember, and I'm not really sure, but I thought you need a minimum of 10 acres to rezone to AR, but I'm not really sure about that matter. But the fact that there is speculation involved, I would be really careful in your decision, and I hope you will weigh it in your final decision of this applicant. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? I do have one here that the lady could not be present because of a work schedule, and I was asked to read this opposition. It is from a Carol Deaton. I have a concern about the request for rezoning for some property on Drakewood Road. I do not get off from work until 6, so I will not able to attend the meetings this evening. Apparently, the request is to allow the breaking current parcel of land into smaller parcels. This would not be in line with the current carefully crafted comprehensive plan. I am concerned about the request because it is across the road from my house, and I would make my rural Madison County home a very different environment. I moved here because of the rural environment, and I would appreciate your help in not allowing this rezone request to be approved. Carol Deaton, 1206 Drakewood Road. Is there anyone else? Anyone else? If not, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for any discussions or any questions that they may have further.
Mr. Chairman, I think you forgot the rebuttal before you close the public hearing.
Do you have anything to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
It was said that I'm trying to speculate on land. That's because I didn't know at the time that it was under a moratorium, and I was trying to sell it after that because I realized I could split it up the way I wanted to. You know, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask to split it up to 5.6 acres when other properties down that whole road are, you know, 5 acres. That's about all I want to address, you know, as far as that goes.
All right. Anyone on the board has any questions for the gentleman?
You're not planning on selling this, are you?
No,
Like to our son, but
yeah, my son and I got it.
Now, are you home site, one of these are gonna be your home site?
Yes, ma'am.
and then our 18-year-old daughter, when she gets old enough, she's gonna have her land. So that's our goal, to all be together.
Any other
We're
questions?
not speculators.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion with the board? Yes, sir.
I just would like to point out that within stone's throw of this land, there's 13 AR parcels in a line, right next to each other.
Okay. just to clarify, it's 4 acres, not 10. Just to clarify, in order to split, it's 4 acres, not 10. All right, any further? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve with conditions, or to disapprove.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve.
Have a motion by Mr. Gandy to approve.
Second.
Have a second by Cynthia. Any discussion? Stephanie?
Yes.
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 It has been approved that we will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that this rezone request be approved. To the applicants, as I stated in the beginning, there will be a second public hearing, November the 6th. I suggest that you be present. All right, moving on, Joseph and Teresa Carroll. Patrick?
They are requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of their property from A1 to AR, split off for a home site for their daughter, and to rezone the remaining 17.4 acres from A1 to A2 to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations. The property is located at 1450 Outer Rogers Road in Commerce on map 12, parcel 49 in District 1.
Okay. Before we get started, I believe that we have a view.
Yes.
Yes, there has,
I think everyone has that. Yes, sir.
I'm Joe Carroll. My wife Teresa is in the back,
Okay.
quietly sitting back there. And the only thing that I'd say that Tracy did not say is that the current property right now, the 21.4 acres, is our home. That's where we live. That's our only home. The home is on that acres. It'll remain on that 17.4 that's remaining. The 4 acres we want to rezone to AR is for our daughter and her daughter. And the first submission I gave to you all was it created a flagpole situation or a flag lot situation. That's been changed. As you look on the survey, it's no longer that way. Tracy put it well, and that's all we want to do is do this for our family. And I have nothing else to add.
All right. You have any questions for Mr. Carroll? Any questions for Mr. Carroll? If not, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in favor? Hearing none, anyone want to speak in opposition? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back, and I will entertain a motion to approve with conditions, or deny.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the 4 acres to AR and the 17 acres to A2.
Motion by Mr. Bradley,
second.
Stephanie by Ms. Harbin. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, Mr. Gandy.
Yes.
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 All right, it's unanimous approval. Again, the same statement that second public hearing will be held on November 6th. Moving on, number 3, Darren Hale. Mr. Hale. Mr. Patrick?
All right, he is requesting to rezone his 12.296 acres from A2 to AR to allow a 4-acre split with his existing home to retain and to sell the remaining 8.296 acres. The property is located at 817 Diamond Hill Nice Road in Colbert on map 30, parcel 125 in District 3.
All right, good evening, Mr. Hale.
Yes, sir.
All right,
I was wanting to divide it up, that, my health is kind of going down, it's getting kind of hard to keep it up. And I was gonna keep the 4 acres and try to maintain that and sell the other.
sell the rest.
Yes.
Anything else? Any questions for Mr. Hale?
I have one. It's kind of a weird shaped parcel there with a pretty big chunk of it right at the intersection. Where would you plan the entrance to this piece of property?
What I'm selling?
Mhm.
Well, the part I'm selling is a corner lot. Like, if I'm right here, I'm selling this chunk right here, then it kind of bottlenecks here, and then it opens up to a square back here. So they got two roads right here they can choose to enter the property.
Okay. So it would be on the part at the intersection, at the 5-way intersection?
Can I walk over this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is me. Oh, can't do it that way. This is me right here.
Okay.
All right. This is what I'm selling right here. That right here is a tree, and then there's woods kind of going off to right here. The deepest, I think, is 130 or 134 feet deep, and it gets more shallow. And then about right here is out in the field, and gets that tree. So whoever buys it, this from here to here they can make a driveway anywhere they want to, and then they have all this access. This is, I think, like about 50 feet right there.
Right, could be that. Okay, so the reason I'm asking is for safety purposes. I didn't know if that had already been established where the driveway would be, but it certainly doesn't need to be right at the intersection. I don't know how much footage there is between the corner down to the first pin on both sides there.
I think I said 102, I think, right there. 196 there. 134, 128.
So he does meet the 150 feet required.
One more. You are intending to keep all 8.29 acres together. You're not, where it bottlenecks right there, you're not planning
Oh, no, yeah.
to cut that off and
All this and all that goes together. Yeah.
because if you were to do that, you know, in the future or whatever,
They gotta have access.
you wouldn't have access down here.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, no, you answered my question, because it sounded like you were just selling that corner lot, but you're selling all of it.
Yes, I'm, this square here,
Yeah.
where it bottlenecks and all this right here, that's all one piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all one piece.
All right, any further questions from Mr. Hale? Thank you, sir. We'll open the public hearing. If anyone wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in favor?
I have some questions.
Please come forward, state your name.
My name is Tammy Hale. I live at 887 Ed Cole Road. The back side of my property was borderline, part of this property being sold. I do not want a bunch of trailers or a bunch of rental property put behind me. I do not want a bunch of houses put behind me. We bought our land back in 1999 and built a house there. But we bought the land back in 1995 and we built our house there in 1999. And we wanted to be there because we would have some backyard privacy and it was family land surrounding us. We have now since gotten very crowded down through there. We have enough neighbors. I would rather have chicken houses behind my house and keep it agricultural than to have a bunch of houses behind my house and no backyard privacy.
All right?
And also, I have a question. How many lots could this be divided into? Because whoever buys it and it gets changed, they both divide it into smaller lots.
Well, whoever divides it has to come back and request for it to be rezoned again. It's just not automatic that they can just divide it. They'll have to come back and request,
Okay,
as he's doing.
okay. I just wanted to make that clarified too.
And if it's rezoned to AR, you must have a minimum of 4 acres. So the most that you could get out of this is 2.
Okay. Okay. Also, can you restrict what can be put on that property? With an AR?
It's already in our,
Not that I'm aware of.
Because right now it's listed as agricultural.
I mean,
but I said in AR, it already states what can be put in AR.
Okay, and what is it, what does that state exactly? I wasn't sure. I mean, can it be where it has to be a residential home there of somebody owning the home? Or would it be somebody could buy it and rent it out?
well, it has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
This is public input, not back and forth.
Right, right. We're trying to answer your question. The question is, it can't be just somebody come in and put a business in. Anything that happens has to come back.
Okay.
Come back, you know.
Okay.
We can't say
I
that
still
you
vote for
cannot
it be agricultural.
you can't put a mobile home, or you can't put this or put that on. All right, does anyone else want to speak? Anyone want to speak for this rezone request?
I'll say
You speaking for or against?
against.
Okay, I'm not there yet.
Against.
I'm not there yet.
Oh, okay.
If one wants to speak for this rezone request? Hearing none?
Speaking against.
Well, she said she had a question, so we're allowed to speak. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition to?
Yes.
Please come forward.
My name is Tracy Mann. I live at 858 Ed Core Road, right across the road from this property. And, as was stated before, I would like it to remain the same. This was originally family land that wasn't supposed to ever get changed. And we're already so crowded on that area. We have a lot of through traffic coming through already because of the way the roads are set up. And if you put an entrance up there at the top, there's going to probably end up being accidents up there, I can assure you. Because every night when the sun goes down, there's people coming through that road getting to Scogan Road, going all the way over to Harjan and Buddy Moore. So that would be my opposition. I would like it to stay the same. Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else who wants to speak in opposition?
Yeah, I see where it's AR, so I don't know.
Please come forward, state your
Okay.
name.
My name's Jeff Hale. I see where it's AR, the agricultural. I figured it'd stay agriculture, starting with agricultural.
It's agricultural residential.
Okay, what exactly does the residential come in on agricultural property? How does that come about?
Mr. Chairman, I just suggest, I've never seen this before. I mean, so the zoning ordinance is available online, but the planning commission can't just do back and forth question and answer. So this is the time for public speaking to tell them whatever
This
you want
is
to
a public
hear.
speaking.
Sir, if you don't know what it is, why is there something wrong with asking the question? I mean, we live in this community or on this road. We should know what it did.
We live on the border property.
I'm the county
concern.
attorney. I'm advising the chairman.
Okay.
Okay, we'll listen
I'm just
to.
concerned with it, how it's gonna go about and what it's gonna develop as. Because I live on property residing, adjoining
Right.
this property.
Now, and I'll take attorney's advice. We're not gonna go back and forth, but I will say agricultural residential means it's still ag, but you can put a house on it.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, to rezone, how many more does that consider it?
It has to be 4 acres.
I'm talking about houses.
Sir, it has to be 4 acres in order to rezone to AR.
Yeah, you still don't know what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Okay? Anyone else want to speak in opposition to? Mr. Hale?
Maybe this will clarify things up. I sold the back half of that property. The guy who bought that bought it for his son. The same person is gonna buy this for his daughter. So far as putting multiple houses on it, I don't foresee that happening. If that helps any, I don't know.
Well, you're here for a rezone request,
Yes.
not necessarily, you have to explain what the person that buys is gonna do with it.
Okay.
All right, any discussion from the board? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve this rezone.
I have a motion by Stephanie, a second. Well, I have a second that this, rezone request be approved. All right, Kenneth?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Mr. Hale, this has been approved. There will be a second public hearing, and to all of you that are in attendance, there will be a second public hearing before the commissioners on November 6th. I suggest that you be there to present your case. All right? Tanya Minish. Ms. Tracy?
She is requesting to rezone her half, .51 of an acre from A1 to R1 to absorb 1 acre from adjoining property, map 15, parcel 125, to include septic lines and well for existing home on the property, and to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations. Property is located at 37 Red Oak Road in Hull on map 15, parcel 124 in District 1.
Afternoon, Ms. Minish.
I'm doing good.
Good.
I live at 251 Sailors Road in Hull, so we live probably about half a mile from here. My husband and I purchased this property just as something, as an investment for us. We're remodeling, we're gonna keep it, plan on using it as a rental. If you look at the layout, I'm not for sure if you have this right here, but it shows the septic line. There's been a community, like a shared well agreement with this property with Ms. Palmer. I'd really like to do away with that, and the septic lines aren't even on this property. So I think that the original way that the property was laid out with the pie shape, I mean, it's a .51 tract zone A1. So, I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not too crazy about the way that it's still like, kind of like an odd angle, but for R1, I think the minimum amount is 1.5. So I had to make it work without, like, including that well again. So I had to kind of take it to the back. And I would really like to have it meet on East Commerce Road so that it can be county water as well. And that's pretty much it. Not anything crazy.
Well, before we move into this, I want to ask the board, the next application has a direct correlation to this one. Do you want to hear from that part before, because well, there are two different property owners, but it's going to really affect, if you approve one, then it makes you have to do something for the other one. So, but that's up to you guys. You want to just hear this one, or you want to hear both of them?
I mean, I would be okay with it saying .51. I mean, but it can't. So I had to reform it to the 1.5 minimum amount of acreage.
Well, it can stay a half acre, and it can stay A1, because it's non-conforming.
It's very non-conforming.
But it's legally non-conforming. But in order to do what you want to do, it has to be rezoned to R1.
The only thing that I want to accomplish out of this is just have it, the septic fully on this property. which is where it's supposed to be. I don't even know how it got approved like that. And then to have its own water source and not the share will agreement anymore.
Questions?
I'm just curiosity more than anything else. The goats behind your land, is that your land? Are those your goats?
No, sir. We live on Sailors Road, on the other end. It hits, Neath Nowhere, kind of where the sharp curve is. So Naomi Madison, my mother-in-law, so she lives up there at the main road, and we live right behind her.
Okay. You got a question?
I did. So Ms. Palmer owns the 4 acres. She at one time owned this half acre.
That's correct.
Okay.
And it has a mobile home on it.
All right. When you purchased it, did you know
I did.
where the septic lines were?
Yes, sir.
You purchased it anyway?
Yes.
With the intent of getting that addressed later like you're doing now? Or
I mean,
how did that happen?
here's the thing, if it doesn't get approved, we still wanted it. It's right next to our house, something that would help my daughters go through college. I mean, it's something that mine and my husband's future. So if y'all don't approve it, just know there's a septic. It's not on this property. I mean, if we ever were to want to get it redone or if something, the field lines failed, we're in trouble. Like, I don't know how we're going to get environmental help to come and approve that with it not being on this property. So, I mean, I don't know what else to do. So this was the only option that we had.
If you can't take in that to own it with the parcel all as one, have you looked into having an easement or something that would allow you access to that septic field?
That is a possibility, but what's the probability of that if we ever wanted to eventually sell it, of a lender being able to do a loan on a property that has an easement for a septic line? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I've tried to think of all different kind of avenues. And I don't know if .51 acres would be still enough to touch mixed commerce for me to have county water. Because, I mean, I'm okay with being A1 still at .51 acres if we could just conform it away from that pie shape. I mean, the pie shape really is probably almost in the middle of the actual cement part of the septic because it's right under the front porch, and the pie shape basically is right at the front of the
The
truck.
home looks like it's on the property line. Is it actually on the property line?
As far as I know, it's not encroached, but I didn't want to pay for a survey yet and then have to redo it if it does get approved. So this is the only thing I have to go by.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you, ma'am. All right, we'll open up the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here wants to speak in favor? Hearing none? Anyone here wants to speak in opposition to? Anyone wants to speak in opposition to? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board, and we will entertain any further discussion or a motion to approve with conditions or disapprove.
We're doing exceptions.
Yes. Nobody said anything, so we're gonna do one at a time.
Well, I make a motion to, approve. We're gonna give her one.
Have a motion by Cynthia?
I'll second this.
Second by Candy. The discussion.
Since we're in discussion, I just have a concern. If there's a way to access these lines, like I asked, through an easement or something else, I just have an issue with putting R1s in a conservation/agricultural area. I think that's setting a bad precedent, and for that reason I can't.
Okay, I hear,
Stay away from those easements.
that's true. Well, I have a concern about that also, but I went out and looked at the properties, and if we approve this, I see where it affects nothing. not gonna change anything. No more houses can be put in there. It affects nothing but give this person the opportunity to own where their septic tank lines go. So that's why I believe it should be. That's just, we're discussing.
Absolutely, and I'll come in and I'd like to discuss on as well, and I appreciate your honesty as far as we're a buyer beware state, and you did your due diligence on the front side, knowing that you purchased this and you kind of got it. So from my side with zoning, I'm looking at this, what's best for the county long term, and I understand it from an investment standpoint. So definitely, we're going to err on the side of what's going on in that area, and then this could possibly, we're changing the land use with zoning here by having a smaller lot, or the potential for a couple smaller lots in this area as well. So that's my thoughts on this.
Any further discussion?
I understand what you're saying. They still have to come before for those smaller lots. So, but I'm saying to help, like, Noah said, I went out there and looking at the property, I didn't see anything that it was bother. That it would just help this person get the easement. Yeah, I can understand that, but anybody can say, okay, you still, I don't want you on my property if they got an easement, but, we're trying to stay away from those easements. So I didn't see where this would affect anything, allowing her to have her water and well, because I know back then a lot of people said this whole property was one person, and, it was okay, you can borrow the water or whatever, it probably wasn't a problem. But now that it's purchased, in order for that person not to be able to have access to their well and water, something happens, I don't see the reason why we wouldn't be able to help them out.
All right, any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, the .51 acres, the A1, which is just a little over half an acre, how did that come to be? Is that, do we know that?
I think when zoning first came in, you could pick what you wanted it to be. And that specific time, I don't know if that was part of that, a bigger parcel at that time, but, you could choose to be A1.
And this was purchased in what year, Ms. Patrick?
She purchased it just a few months ago.
It was purchased at .51 in the A1.
Yes.
And it was purchased from the other.
This Palm.
Yeah, joint property.
Last survey done, I believe, was 93, right prior to zoning as well.
All right?
Mr. Canales,
We have-
correct when they brought zoning in, people got to pick and choose.
Yes, sir, thank you, that's good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second. We ready to vote? Kenneth?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 All right, we have 5-2 vote. It has been approved. Again, public hearing on November the 5th. All right, moving on, Tanya Minish, applicant for Janice Farmer.
All right, and
Okay.
this is the second portion of this, is requesting to rezone her 4.05 acres from AR to R1 to allow 1 acre to be absorbed into the adjoining property, map 15, parcel 124, to allow existing septic lines and well to be included on the property with the existing home. Property is located at 5408 East Commerce Road in Hull, on map 15, parcel 125 in District 1.
All right.
I don't know what to say about this. I think in order for her to be able to give the absorption from the .51 to the 1.5, she had to do a rezoning well. And she's sitting back there with me. I told her that I would talk to her, but I think the original reason why it was 81 or whatever years ago, her son is an adult, grown man now, and he used to raise pigs in high school. And so I think it looked like a pig or something on the property. So I think she chose that a long time ago. But as far as her tract, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory off of what we just went through with ours.
Okay. Any questions, on Ms. Minnish? Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks so much.
Open the public hearing. Anyone want to speak for this? Anyone want to speak in favor? Hearing none. Anyone want to speak in opposition? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board for a motion to approve with conditions. Anyone deny? I will make a motion to approve. 5 seconds. Motion by Canola Scott, second by Kenneth Bradley. Any further discussion? I guess on me, yes?
No.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. 5-2 to approve. We recommend to the Board of Commissioners for approval. And again, November for the second public hearing. Moving on, Braxton Lake, please come forward, Ms. Tracy.
Okay, he is wanting to rezone a 5-acre portion of his 118.44 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split and sold to a family member for a home site, with the remaining 113.44 acres to stay in the A1 zone. Property is located at 4450 Paoli Road in Carlton on map 104, parcel 25-01 in District 4.
Yes, sir. Councilman Forrest, no.
Just bought the land 3-4 years ago, and it's a portion that I'm not using, and I have a first cousin that is wanting to buy it to move on to, put a house on it, move on to. That's about it.
Okay, all right. Any questions for Mr. Legg?
Sir, current usage of the land is?
I have a farm, a poultry and cattle farm, on the other 112 or 13.
Yes, thank you.
And live on it too, sorry.
Further questions? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in favor? Hearing none, anyone want to speak in opposition to? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Close the public hearing, bring back to the board to entertain a vote, to approve or disapprove.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second. Okay, I have a motion by Smith, second by Lee, to approve. Any questions, any further discussion? Lee?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Right, it's been approved. I will recommend to the Board of Commissioners to approve, but again, the second public hearing will be at the Commissioners meeting in November. All right, next we have Jose and Linda Soto.
Close enough.
All right.
And they are wanting to rezone their 14.35 acres from A1 to A2 to allow an additional home to be built on the property for their son as an accessory dwelling unit and to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations. Property is located at 400 Rock Quarry Drive in Danielsville on map 52, parcel 119C in District 4.
All right, Mr. Soto. Ms. Soto,
Yes, sir.
welcome. Tell us what you want us to know.
Well, my son, came from Florida, moved over to Florida with us about 1.5 years ago to help us because we both have very severe heart conditions, and it's not getting any better. We find that our current home is just not large enough for two families to live comfortably. So we looked at several options, and the only option that we really had, after speaking to the zoning commission and everything else, people in the zoning, was to rezone it and be able to build a secondary stick-built home on our property, you know, a small one, so that my son could still live on our property, help us maintain the property, and basically just take care of us as we progress.
All right,
We need them.
you need it.
Yeah, badly.
All right, any questions for Mr. Minnesota?
For the driveway. I know there's a long one that goes.
Yes, we have a very long driveway on the road.
So his is just gonna come off the, or he's
Yeah, currently what we have is two pastures. When we had horses, we recently had to give up our horses so we couldn't maintain them. But the road cuts across between both pastures on the right and left. And basically we're thinking of him just on the one on the left to take that pasture over and build the house and just attach his driveway onto that, our driveway. It's not gonna be a separate residence, a separate address or anything. We'll still maintain ownership of the property and the home.
Well, that brings me to my question.
Yes.
You are asking for an accessory dwelling. You weren't willing to split the land.
Well,
We tried and looking into that, and our road it's a private dirt road, and the maximum amount of homes on that dirt road is 6, from my understanding. I believe, I don't know if you're the one we spoke to, but 4. And right now, we currently have like 7, which is already over the maximum. So we couldn't split to add more separate homes onto the land. The only option is to have a secondary dwelling on our property.
we would like to split the property, but we can't.
Yeah, but we just can't, you know, that's not
So
allowed.
my son said he would do this because he knows we need it.
Mm-hmm. Chris, you want?
It's also kicking into the new driveway ordinance where they would have to pave the entire road.
Okay. That's the real reason.
Yeah, although I'm sure our neighbors would love it,
But it will be a shared driveway.
Yes, absolutely, a shared driveway.
If you look where it starts to curve to an L shape, they would build back there on the right-hand side, so they just drive and their driveway would be right at the end of
Right
that
there,
curve.
right there.
Right.
Any further questions for the so-called? None? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we will open the public hearing. If anyone wants to speak in favor of this rezone request,
I have a question, not
please
speaking
come
favor.
up, state your name and
Virginia Beavers, I live in the Harrison district. I just have a question. In a case like this, do they have to go through any kind of a rezone or anything if they wanted to move in a manufactured home for temporary reasons, you know, while, you know, taking care of them? They wouldn't have to go through any kind of a rezone or anything for that, would they? Under the hardship guidelines?
Can I answer that? I think that's getting a little bit out of our.
Right.
I think that's getting a little bit out of our jurisdiction. Now, maybe Chris or Ms. Patrick can answer that particular question.
If they moved one in for a hardship, it'd be temporary, and then as soon as the hardship was over, it would have to be removed from the property, or either we'd be stuck in.
But they can do that though? Okay, thanks. Thank you.
All right, anyone wants to speak for this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Come forward, please. State your name and tell us what you want us to know.
I'm James Dunlap. I'm at 475 Rock Quarry Drive, kind of across from us. And I'm a realtor also, so I know this zoning doesn't just affect properties it touches, it affects, I mean, we're on a small, private road. It affects everybody. And when we bought this thing, we bought it because the covenants, protected us from trailers, mobile homes, or divisions. And it also keeps us from HOAs. And we did go on a dirt road, but we kind of took a chance on it. And that dirt road has come back to bite us. Because now there's an agreement in place and we can't get anybody to agree to fix anything. And this is, since day one, we have a problem with it. But, that being saying, we are against the rezoning. They may say this is for whatever reason, but, things change. Something may change outside of their control where they're not able to do this. And if it gets zoned, then all the other 10 property owners are stuck with the zoning. Or if there's possibility of a trailer there. If something happens, they don't do it, and they sell the property, then we got the possibility of somebody coming there and going against the covenants. We bought there thinking the covenants would protect us from things like this. But what y'all are pretty much just saying, it does not. Once this thing's zoned, they can put a trailer right there on top of the road, and I think anybody can do it. So, we don't have any problem with the DeSoto's or the house, but if, that's a big if. If that don't come to be, there's 10 houses on it that pay bad effects of it being zoned. And I also have 4 other track members that couldn't make it, confirmation that they're against it also. They couldn't make the meeting, so they sent me an email. I'd be glad to let y'all have that before we agree.
Yes, sir. We'll be glad to take it.
And the road is a problem. It's a short road, a private road. And for some reason, the county chose to okay this stone. But I think the county should be okay with taking control of this road and maintain this road. If you want to go that route, then y'all maintain the road.
Okay, that's something out of our jurisdiction. We don't have anything to do with that.
I know, just thought. So do you want me to read these other 4, just give them to y'all, or? There's other 4 tracts.
Just give them what's practice for.
But there are 4 other tracts of property on our road, and they all say no to the rezone. For basically the same reason I did.
All right, is there anyone else present that would like to speak in opposition to it? Please come forward, sign in, and state your name.
I'm already signed in. My name is Ricky Akins. I live directly in front of Linda and Jose. And I bought in there because I loved where it's at, and you can't see any house from each other. And I'm 70 years old, and I lived on Rock Quarter Road for 50-something years, and I moved back to it because I love that area. And I don't want to be looking at a house straight in front of me. And that's my speak for it. And I understand people wants to help people, but I moved in there for peace and quiet, and I love the area.
All right, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank y'all.
Anyone else that will speak in opposition to? Please come forward.
Jalen McElroy, thinking about my husband, Jonathan McElroy. He's at work right now, can't be here. We're at 115 Rock Quarry Drive. We're the immediate on the left when you first enter that private drive. So we see everyone that comes home from every delivery whatsoever happens. One delivery can't even make it up that road. This would just open up the floodgates, y'all. I mean, that road needs to be fixed already. You put more homes back there, more traffic, and we see it all. And we bought that home, we're fixing it up from the mess that we picked it up, and I felt like we've been working at it, doing a good job about it. And you open up this A2, I mean, life happens. What would happen if they opened up and you could put 4 homes back there, 4 trailers back there? We don't want to deal with that. I mean, just putting it out there. We're planning on staying here for retiring here, making this our home, and it would just open the floodgates. Please, no.
And can I get your name again?
Dalen McElroy.
D-A-L-Y-N.
D-A-L-Y-N.
Okay.
And Jonathan.
Anyone else?
My husband.
Come forward, please. You signed in, state your name.
I'm Debbie Brewer, this is my husband John, we live right next door to their property at 312 Rock Quarry Drive, we have 10.5 acres over there. And we built our house there just a couple of years ago because we knew, well, there were restrictive covenants in place to keep more homes from moving in. And then we also have a road agreement where, you know, just a few of us are supposed to maintain this road. So if you're adding additional residences, it's putting a greater burden on those of us who are responsible for taking care of the road, to take care of these new homes that are being, they have no responsibility.
You change the one, then there's the opportunity that you change multiple lots there, to they put multiple houses in the same area. So now it's gone from 8 houses on the backside to the possibility of 16 or more if each lot is rezoned to multiple houses, but only the 8 lots are responsible for the road.
Right, so the new residents have no responsibility, and that's not fair to the people who have responsibility for the road. Because there's more expansion available to everyone else who do the same thing. And, so that's our biggest issue. You know, we don't have a problem with hoping one day with your son over there, but he is gonna be right next to us. There's concern about the well water. There's concern about privacy because we didn't think anyone else could live there based on our restrictive covenants. We relied on that.
But we chose our location on our property was based on the covenant saying 1 house, 1 barn. And now they're gonna put, because if you look, can I walk you through? Sure. On the lot, our home is approximately right here. So that house is gonna be within spitting distance of where ours is. Our well is right in front of it, so it's still in the same general location. So now there's a possibility of, you know, affecting our water as well as our privacy and ability to do anything else with our property.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem fair to know that someone else could be rezoned when we bought this property relying on restrictions, relying on this road agreement, and this is supposed to be a limited size neighborhood. So, once again, you know, greater cost on us, but the new people moving into the new residents don't have any responsibility whatsoever. And I agree, you know, with what the gentleman said earlier. It's like, is the county gonna take over the maintenance of this road? I mean, if we keep expanding this area, that's an issue for us.
All right.
Can I ask a question? I keep hearing about a covenant. Do you all have a written covenant?
Yes.
Is this
And then each considered our properties, we each had to sign
Okay, is this considered a subdivision?
Yeah.
Well, Cynthia, before we begin that, ask our attorney, we don't have anything to do with
that's what I'm
covenants.
saying. We don't have anything to do with the covenant. That's why I'm asking you, do you have a written
Covenants are not part of our decision making.
Right.
The county doesn't enforce covenants. Covenants are a civil agreement between the owners when they buy the property, either enforced by an HOA or they have to take civil action in superior court.
That's right.
But what about this road maintenance agreement that we have and the additional burden of bringing in more homes?
Part of the covenant.
Property.
Yeah.
So that's what I said, the covenant,
Now,
there's a written
I
covenant.
have a question on what he said. If our covenants are not recognized as legal documents, then how can the zoning committee hold us to sizes of houses and sizes of outbuildings?
Zoning doesn't hold you to sizes of houses.
We didn't say the covenants aren't legal, but the covenants are not, covenants are private matters for the homeowners, the property owners, and the beneficiaries to enforce. The county government governs through zoning restrictions, which are separate from the covenants. So zoning could allow things that the covenants do not, but the county code enforcement is not gonna come out and thank somebody for violating a private covenant. That's a civil matter you have to pursue through the courts yourselves to enforce.
Thank you. I was just trying to get an
Well,
understanding.
that's fine, I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting an understanding, that's how we all operate.
Yes, sir. But, anything?
All right.
Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition? Can I say one more thing? Yes, sir, press briefly.
Okay. There appears to be a problem between what everybody's covenants say and what the county can do. Could there not be another zoning
drawn up that will address this issue right here? We can't be the only one that's happening, so this gotta be happening all over us. Well, so is there not enough zoning that would address the hasty that's
Not at this point.
well, something to think about down the line, maybe?
Not at this point. All right, Mr. Soto, you have any rebuttal?
Yes, I don't know where to start, but sure.
Okay.
I'm glad you guys brought up the point about the covenants being a legal issue and not a zoning issue, because that would have been one of my rebuttals. Some of the other things they mentioned about that the additional traffic on the road, there's not gonna be any additional traffic. My son's already been there a year and a half. It's no change in traffic since what it is currently. And no change if somebody purchased or wanted to build on the tracks that are not currently being used now. There'll be additional, traffic on the road that isn't currently there. So, I'd like to say that I don't think that's really, something that they need to concern themselves with, because it's not gonna be anything additional. All we're asking is for our son to be able to build a secondary dwelling on a home so he can live, in some comfort rather than, combine into our home. We're not asking for a mobile home. We understand, and they've even, these same owners here, or the majority of these, people that came talk here, send us email that if we agree that it's gonna be a stick-built home or nothing, and that might be part of the emails you received, that they're fine with it. And I like to hold them to that, since they're the ones who brought that up, that if, as long as it was stick-built, that would be okay with it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I got one comment
Yes, sir.
on that. You know that the ADU's gotta be smaller than the original
Oh,
home.
absolutely. Our original home is 2,000 on the top floor and an unfinished 2,000 downstairs as a basement. We're only planning to do maybe 1,200 of two bedroom, 1.5 bath, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. It's a small home.
Can I ask you how many lots are not occupied?
Well, I think there's a total of 11 lots and there's only 6 neighbors. Plus, well, that's something if they want to go to the court about the covenants, because there's history of the covenants being violated. So, but that's a separate issue, not in this order. I'm not going to bring that up. But yeah, I think there's about another 6 lots that can be built on.
All right.
I think there's two more lots, I think.
No, there's a lot.
All right, we're gonna close the public hearing and bring it back to the board and entertain a motion to approve, disapprove, approval of conditions, whatever you desire. Well, you look like you want to say something. Yes, sir, Ms. Gandy.
Is discussion closed to this?
Yes, no, we can discuss. I would rather for a motion to be made and then we discuss, but that's okay, go ahead.
Well, then I'll make a motion and then we can discuss it.
Okay.
I move that we approve this request.
And I'll second.
We have a motion to approve, Gandy, Smith, the second. Now, discussion.
I would just, we're pretty much, I don't know, we're in a tough situation here because A2 is certainly permitted under our zoning regulations, ordinances, to allow accessory dwelling. Yes, seems exactly what we've got here. I don't know how we, when the homeowner comes and totally within the rights of what the zoning is, that means that it would be difficult for us to go against that.
And I'll come alongside where there are certain things for everyone that's in attendance that I struggle with personally here on this as well. The overarching thing is this is what we have right now, and it's one of the main reasons that we are put out to go through a rewrite of our whole zoning ordinances to clean up some of the stuff that's out there currently. What I'm able to utilize is what we have here before us currently. And I'm a property rights guy. I'll go ahead and say it. I struggle with a lot of this, but at the same time, we got to go by what it is that we have here before us. And
Other comments or discussion? Well, I too understand, the covenant, you know, and I understand how people say, well, you know, covenant ought to stand because it was there prior to this or that happening. But yet, I do also understand that we cannot take in consideration the covenant. That's something different. It's totally different from zoning. So therefore, I have to, even though I might want to agree, I have to put that out of my mind because that's not part of my decision making. So, we have a motion and a second for approval. Lee, I believe it's on,
Yes.
William.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. All right, has been approved. Again, there'll be a second public hearing in November before the commissioners. I encourage all of you, those for, all that were against, to be present and state your case again. All right, Chris Smith.
Okay. All right, applicant for his mother, Sandra Smith, is requesting to rezone 2 3-acre tracts from A2 to AR and 1 5.80-acre tract with an existing cell tower from A2 to business to split for inheritance purposes for her children. Property is located at 0 Highway 72 East in Homer on map 106, parcel 66, in District 4.
Hi, Chris, welcome back.
I'm back. Only thing I've got to say is I'm not sure if we've updated our drawing yet. Yes, there it is. This is just a tentative line map. I really don't have the computer power to get my setbacks and all that off, but the acreages is what we're trying to work out so that we can be in compliance with the cell tower that is currently on that property. The 5.8 acres will attach to a piece of property now, which is I believe that's a 0.33 acre, which already belongs to me. I know y'all want to get away from easements, but as there's an existing road there for that cell tower, I would like to be able to let my nephew, who's going to wind up with the 3-acre tract beside it, to have it written in, to have an easement, get into that tower to keep from having to build a road through a very bad piece of property. The 5 acres that I'll wind up with is basically a washed out gully all the way around that cell tower. So it would cost a lot of money to put a driveway through my shop to go back there to that. Other than that, I think the last 3-acre tract will be attached to the property that this adjoins to.
All right. Questions for Chris?
I think we addressed this the first go around, just to make sure you're not interested in combining the back 3 acres with the front acreage on the road in any way. These are going to be separate parcels behind the existing lots. Okay, this is not joining. Yeah, this tract is going to join this because that's what y'all wanted me to do. I'm saying you're not combining them into one parcel. You're still going to have separate parcels. These two? Yes. I thought that's what y'all wanted me to do, was to combine those into one parcel. Yeah, that's correct.
That's what you're saying, it's just the middle,
Okay.
it's just the middle one that won't be attached.
Okay. Yeah, the middle one will have its own access, in which, this, like I said, this is an existing road to that cell tower.
Mm-hmm.
So my nephew, we would have to write an easement in to get, for all, Verizon to still be able to access that cell tower.
Yeah. And the easement's only serving one lot, the easement's really for the access to the tower, not to the home.
Okay. And the top lot, is it being combined with that lot as well? That is the intention, if they can do what they wanna do, that's what the intention is, cause, they're actually wanting to put my sister owns that, 1 acre lot, and she's wanting her granddaughter to be able to put a house on it. So, you know, if we can combine it and still allow that house, to be put on that track, if not, then she'll cut an easement down the side of the property line.
Okay. I'm still not clear on whether they're gonna combine or not.
That's,
The ones at the top, that's the ones he's talking about. The ones on
Yeah.
the firm.
this one here, this property belongs to my sister.
Right.
Who is inheriting this property.
Right.
But her intention is to allow her granddaughter to put a residence on that 3 acre tract.
So you need to keep her separate.
Keep it there.
She would like to, if we can grant if y'all would allow her to grant an easement to do it that way.
Now, what about the one in the middle, that property at the?
This property,
No, the one next to your finger.
here,
No, go there,
This-
right there.
okay, this property is on the road frontage, which belongs to my aunt now.
Is that gonna be combined with the one in the back?
No,
No.
no, she owns that tract already outright.
Okay.
So the only one that's gonna be combined with the one in the back is the bottom 5.8 acre lots.
I really don't want to, but if it makes it easier, I'm willing to do that.
Don't combine it if you don't have to.
So if you combine lots, they have to have the same zoning.
Yeah.
And this is a B1,
We're only
this is a
looking
B,
at,
so.
that's the,
So you don't.
so no, I would like to not combine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I'm thinking right, the easement to get to the cell tower would also would allow me access to that 5 acres, one lot, or 5.8 acres back there.
That's right. The ordinance permits an easement, I mean, and you don't have to meet those private road standards unless it serves more than one lot. So this one's only serving that one lot, so it should be fine.
Okay. We all on the same page.
All right,
Please.
I know it's just a dotted line and not a plat, but the setback from the tower to that nearest property line.
The tower is 180 feet tall. I went back there and found the phone number and called the guy, and he said, give me a second, I'll tell you. So, like I said, just for ease of surveying is the reason I just drew the straight lines, but on my computer, I just clicked on the cell tower and measured to a point. Of course, a surveyor is gonna have way more sophisticated equipment than I got, or computer than I got, so he'll be able to set all of those setbacks at the proper distance to make sure we're well within what's there.
When the survey comes in, that'd be part of the process in our office,
Okay.
making sure that the setback, there's no property lines within 180 foot of the tower itself.
Okay, any more questions for Chris?
Oh, that's Chris.
He's Chris.
And this is the last of anything less than 4 acres at this point in time.
Right.
It's coming up.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we'll open the public hearing. Does anyone wants to speak in favor of this rezone request?
My name's Annette Blackman. I own the property to the right of the Tower Road. In full disclosure, I'm Sandra Smith's sister. The property was family property, has been in the family since the 40s. I'm definitely for them being able to divide their property, to give it to her children. There'd be no question that you can divide your property for your children. So I'm definitely in favor. And like I say, I am the property owner in front of the parcel that would be buried. Thank you. That's
All right.
my time. I'm sorry, I'm emotional.
You're okay.
Go back.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anybody else that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone else? Hearing none, is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition? Hearing none, We'll bring it back to the board to entertain a motion. I would like to say to the Smith, you know, this has been a long process, and we appreciate, you know, what you all have done to try to get us all on the same page. So I will entertain a motion. Yes, sir.
Before the motion, quick, just one point of clarification. Is there any reason to make a condition if it's going to be covered under the building permits, you know, for any of that?
Not at this point in time. No, sir. The biggest thing working forward that we had to overcome was the tower itself. Since the tower's in place, it's only, the easement's only going to the one property. We found the path to keep everything going.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
All right, any further? Not one
He
other
answered my question, I was asking the same thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve as presented.
Okay, Smith, on the motion?
second.
Second by Kennedy. That this be approved as presented. You ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. We're approved.
There's almost over.
We will present to the Board of Commissioners for approval, and I would suggest that you all please come on the 7th.
We'll be here.
All right.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
James Kirby.
This is,
All right.
This is James Purdy, applicant for his son Stephen Salem, is requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of his 70.47 acres from A2 to AR to allow it to be split for future home sites, and the remaining 66.47 acres will stay in the A2 zone. Property is located on Jottam Down Road in Danielsville, on Map 9, parcel 31 in District 1.
All right, Mr. Kirby?
Yes, sir.
Tell us what you want us to know in addition to what she's already said.
She nailed it to a T. I think she's done this once or twice.
I think so. All right. Any questions for Mr. Kirby? I got one just for curiosity, because I live over there.
Okay.
What are you gonna do with the rest of that's been cleaned off of?
It'll eventually be turned into pasture.
Oh, okay.
Is what it's gonna be, but, he found out how much it costs to de-stump land, and, he had sticker shock. Apparently y'all know how much it costs, so.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll open public hearing. Anyone wants to speak for this rezone request? Anyone want to speak? Hearing none. Anyone want to speak in opposition? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board and we'll entertain a motion to approve, disapprove, or approve conditions.
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second.
Motion by Kenneth, second by Lee, that this be approved. Any further discussion? Bruce?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
It's been approved. Again, like I tell everybody else, the second public hearing is coming up, so please be present.
November 6th, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Just wanna make sure.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
All right, Timothy and Sharon Lynch.
You skipped one.
Oh, I skipped one.
I was gonna say.
I'm sorry. I apologize, sir. I apologize. James Kirby.
I'm Mr. Payne.
All right. Matthew Payne is requesting to rezone 10.72 acres from A2 to AR to allow a 4-acre split for a home site for his mother-in-law. Property is located at 289 Furnace Creek Road in Danielsville on Map 38, parcel 14 in District 1.
All right. Tell us what you want us to know.
It's pretty simple. We had actually bought the property. It was set up, there was already kind of a home site that the original owners had to put another house. So we had bought it with the intent to build and have a rental property, you know, to kind of help put kids, through school. But then talking with my mother-in-law, she's all the way in Commerce, she wants to be right here with us, so I thought, you know, who better to have right next door than our mother-in-law, kind of help with the kids, things like that. So we talked to her, and she's all about it, so we'd like to put a house down there for her.
All right, anything else? Excuse me, sir. Could you all hold it down for just please, sir? Any questions? Any questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That poultry operation next door to you is on closing problems.
I'm used to it by now.
Okay. She don't be used to it.
Oh, yeah, she's from Franklin County, so she'll be good.
That's air fresh.
Oh, yeah.
All right, for public hearing, anyone speak for this rezone request? Hearing none, anyone speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board and entertain a motion to approve or disapprove.
I'll make a motion to approve as requested. Second.
Okay. A motion by Cynthia, second by Stephanie. Any further discussion? If not, Cynthia?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Now, if I can get back on target. Timothy.
Okay, they are requesting to rezone the 5-acre portion of their 38.85 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split and gifted to their son for a home site, and the remaining 33.85 acres will stay in the A1 zone. Property is located at 2291 Manley Martin Road in Danielsville on map 62, parcel 80 in District 4.
All right. Ms. Tracy did a good job, but y'all tell us a little bit more.
Well, we bought the property back quite a ways ago, and now we're getting younger, I guess you could say. And my son retired from the Marine Corps, and he said, "Dad, I'm going to live there." I said, "Well, okay, but I want to put you as far as away from the house as you go." So I want to call it the 5 acres in the corner.
All the way in the corner.
All in the corner.
Okay.
So he can live there and help us out with minor chores.
All right.
That's basically what it is, right?
That's basically what it is, okay?
Yeah.
You ready to put that in the condition form?
Minor chores.
Any questions for these folks? Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good time.
All right, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request?
Hey there, y'all. I am Michelle Kay. I am at 506 Chastain Road. And this is my sister, Jennifer McClure. She's at 174 Chastain Road. Our properties front Manley Martin directly across from our dear friends and neighbors, the Linsons, and we are here in favor of this rezone.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else in favor of? Anyone else in favor of? Anyone in opposition? Anyone in opposition? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board and entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
A motion by Stephanie,
No, second.
second by Smith. Any further discussions or comments? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm looking right here. Okay. I'm looking at something. Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Bruce, is it on you? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Has been approved. Again, it will come up before the commissioners, in November for the second public hearing.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you you very much. And number 14, I believe the two others were postponed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
12,
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
See you back there.
Right. Timothy and Kelly. That's the last one. Come forward.
With the law.
All right, they are requesting to rezone their 42.44 acres from A1 to A2 to allow the property to be split into 3 tracts of 13.47, 11.73, and 17.37 acres, to sell 2 of the tracts and to retain the other to build a home on. Property is located at 1191 Adderhold Rogers Road in Commerce, on map 12, parcel 70, in District 1.
All right. Welcome.
Thank you.
Please, tell us anything in addition to what, Ms. Tracy has said.
My husband and I moved up, excuse me, in '07 and bought this property in 2011 with the idea that we are going to retire here. And this is still very much so the hope. With building prices being as they are, we need to be able to raise capital to continue to do a bit of what it is we're already doing on the farm, which is hay and horses. We need to be able to build a home that's more suitable to our needs.
We have to leave the door open, ma'am.
We have to leave the door open.
Chris, would you ask them to hold it down out there, please?
Thank you, Scan. Sorry.
That's our plan, hay and horses, we'd like to say, but we gotta be able to raise the capital.
We're not looking, as well, I just want to point out, we're not looking in the near future, we just want to, just to sell one so we can step forward. We actually live on East Commerce Road at the moment, and we are moving into a house in April of next year. This is our retirement home, but so when the piece of paper says to sell 2 tracts, we're not 100% sure that we want to sell both tracts. We would like Mike to sell the one, either one, so we can then do the improvements that we want. Do you know what I mean? We've made this our home and we want to stay here. We've both got full-time jobs and part-time jobs. We work 7 days, and we put a lot of improvements into this property, not to just sell it. We love this place, and that's it. Yes.
Can I ask you?
All right, question?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? Did you get a survey of this?
No.
Okay, there's the way you divided it up, I guess you're showing. There was one tract that didn't have enough road frontage.
17 point something.
Yeah, 17.
Okay,
So,
how many,
you have to have 160.
150, okay.
So looking at how you have it divided here,
Yep.
you don't have road frontage for that third. And where would you be moving? Which one would you be moving?
Into the middle block.
Oh, the middle.
Yes, there's a ranch house in there.
So the top part, the narrow thing, that's where the 150 feet is not available.
And it also makes a flag lot.
But there is enough land that you can reconfigure that to get to the 150 feet road frontage. Are you opposed to that?
No.
As long as it's at least 10 acres, if you're rezoning it to A2. That's what you're doing?
Each one
Yes.
has to be 10
Yeah, minimum 10 acres.
Yes.
So you'd have to, if you took from that middle one, you would have.
But then we could move the middle one further back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good surveyor will
Yeah.
provide good guidance on how to do that.
Yes.
So,
Yes, yes.
If I could make a suggestion, moving forward with the group, instead of putting the limitation of acreage, and we just moved to a rezone of A2 with 2 splits, we wouldn't have to worry about the exact acreage when they came in to record the plat. Then we could record it with 150-foot of road frontage as they come forward. Instead of saying, yes, we're gonna approve a 13, an 11, and a 17, we just approve, the rezone to A2, and then that would limit them to the 10 acres at a minimum. And then when the plat came in, then we could address the 150 foot at that time.
And that's always the case. I mean, the only time that you would have an acreage limitation is if you have a minimum to reach, if you do rezoning a part of an existing parcel, and it needs to have a minimum to meet whatever zone is put in. But, no, I mean, unless you make it a condition, those acreages are always approximations, and that's addressed at the plat recording stage.
And then that way, if they just split one time for home improvements and everything, they still might not split the second part unless they felt the need to, and they could split it up over time as well.
So, can I ask,
Yes, ma'am.
since they're coming to us, if we approve this, since they're coming to us with a split acreage, saying that they want to split these into 3 tracts and use the acreage, so how would that?
I think what he's saying, we're not looking at the acreage, we're just looking at the land, period.
Yeah.
A lot of the discussion is about intent, but people's expressions of intent are not binding and are not part of the rezone unless you put them in your motion. And actually, the Board of Commissioners puts it in their motion and makes it a condition of the rezone. So this is just a proposal to rezone a single 42.44 acre parcel from A1 to A2. And whatever plats they bring in will be approved as long as it shows lots that fit A2.
So we don't have to get worried on the acreage like we do with the minimums.
So we're only looking
Give
at
them
it
the
as a whole.
flexibility to work
Right.
forward.
That's right.
All right?
Fine.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, Ms. Gandy, are you in approval or opposition?
That's what happens when they hear it. Coming down the wire.
I hope the public hears anyone, want to speak in favor of this rezone.
He's a mad shot with a 22 off a horseback.
Anyone wants to speak, in opposition to? If not, we'll bring it back to the board and entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Lee to approve, second by Kenny. And I believe the whole thing, on session.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, any old business any old business? Any old business? Hearing none, just keep in mind and be thoughtful as our business meeting this month, we'll be talking about the 4 acre, 2 acre thing, and I think there's a lot of interest in that.
And the
Survey.
Survey.
And we'll have, the dog kennel recommendations up.
So we should be pretty busy for the, business meeting. All right? Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Moving and second to adjourn, Bruce made it.
Right, okay.
One or the other. All in favor, aye. All right. Have a good evening, everybody. Well, Lee and I don't have to rush to city break. Okay. It's over. It's over. That's why we've been rushing.
I threw her hair. Real potato. Oh, y'all was fighting over helping me. Well, I appreciate it.
We'll also have one.
Where you go, maybe go 35 and go home.
Lay down for
All right, so you're not approved with the resolution.
my